I remember the exact moment I felt trapped by my career. I was working as an attorney, and we had an office presentation on health insurance packages. The packages themselves were underwhelming. Whether you picked option A, B, or C, you were still SOL. Straight out of luck. I made my selection before the meeting and figured that I could spend that time doing other things. It turns out the health insurance presentation was mandatory, meaning that despite already knowing what my decision would be, I was still being forced to sit through a presentation aimed to help me reach that decision. Okay, no big deal. I could just bring my laptop and phone and knock out other work during that time. No go. The minute I whipped out either one, my boss asked me to put it away. It wasn't good enough for me to be there physically. I had to also feign interest for benefits that I had already reviewed and selected. I sat there for an hour not listening to a word that was being said, but rather plotting in my mind, the only part of me not being held hostage at that point, how I would make my great escape. Because after 7 years of higher education, $100,000 in law school loans, and 2 different state bar exams, I should have been well beyond the threshold of adulthood. Yet there I was, being treated like a child. I felt like I'd been duped. Being a professional was not as it was advertised. Health insurance was just the tip of the iceberg. Retirement plans, annual bonuses, all of the perks we've been led to believe were waiting for us at the end of this education and internship rainbow were part of an outdated model where people work for one company their whole lives, have a big retirement party, and go off into the sunset with a hefty pension. That is just not the way things are anymore. So if companies are changing, why aren't we? The National Institute on Retirement Security reports that 66% of millennials have nothing saved for retirement. As people start to live longer, the prospect of paying out lifetime benefits becomes less and less appealing, such that only 4% of workers in the private sector rely primarily on a defined benefit pension plan, down from 60% in the 1980s. Moreover, it's estimated that Social Security will stop paying out full benefits by 2035, after which they'll be cut down to 75%. Let me ask you, do you think that you could live off $1,000 a month in old age when you have medications, special care needs, and a restricted diet? I can't even make that amount of money work for me now, and I only go to the doctor when I need them to sign off on something. It's hard to convince people to participate in the rat race when there is no longer any cheese. So what's the alternative? Well, what if I were to tell you that you could make a full-time living online doing something you actually enjoyed with the flexibility to work from anywhere and set your own schedule? No, I'm not talking about an MLM. I'm talking about good old-fashioned remote work. April 2020 saw a surge of remote work due to coronavirus. LinkedIn recorded a 28% increase in remote job listings that month alone. Suddenly, people who were previously forced to be a warm body in an office found that they could actually work from home without loss of productivity or output. Those who were let go or furloughed from positions explored alternative means of employment, from freelancing to launching an online business. In Puerto Rico, for example, one small local tour provider adapted by offering virtual coffee tours, accompanied by a box of samples mailed directly to the customer's house. Previously, tours and tastings were part of an industry that was thought to be restricted to local foot traffic. After all, you have to be there in person to see the sights and taste the food, right? Wrong. Not only can traditional products and services be adapted to the digital world, they can be scaled to reach exponentially more people. So what does all of this mean for you? It means that you have options. If you're looking for stability and job security, you can work for an established company online. There are remote positions that fit all levels of expertise and experience, from customer service agents to software engineers. You can be a freelancer, basing your career in your talent and capitalizing off the gig economy. It doesn't have to be a digital skill. Shared ride services and delivery apps are examples of remote work that you can do with an asset such as a car. Finally, you can start your own business online. There are no gatekeepers. Digital marketing has transformed sales. Think about it. It wasn't that long ago that door-to-door salesmen were a thing. They made a living by canvassing neighborhoods all day long, hoping to convert a few dozen houses into 1 or 2 sales. We now have the ability to reach thousands of digital doors at the click of a button. With a customer's email address, you have an open invitation into their digital home. This means that whether you're selling a service or a product, there is a market for your business on the internet. Your customers are there, even if they're not local. Everyone feels trapped by their job at some point. The question is, will you stay that way? If you have a skill, you can find a way to monetize it online. Apply for that remote position. Create your freelancing profile. Launch that website you've been dreaming about. Working online is the path less taken for now. But trust me when I tell you, it will make all the difference. Thank you.